You're so close, and so there's been 3 races since we've been down here, and we finished second in each one of them. So that one's been kind of tough. So, but we're getting closer. That's the good thing. I finished like a car length back one time, and then the last race I was in the duel, I was less than that, and this time I got next to the leader. So I'm hoping to get in front of him by the end of this race, and I think we had a good car for today. We had a shot at repeating for what we did last year, and I feel confident we can do that. And obviously everything's got to work out just right. Daytona's it's a beast of its own, to say the least, and it's tough to have everything work out just right and have all the right people behind you to make those moves at the end. But we'll do what we know how to do and be there to you.
Do you feel pretty confident about today and how your car's been running?
I do. I feel very confident about what our car can do. We've been down here for 2 weeks working on it, so if we can't get it right by now, we're just not going to get it right. So I feel like we're, top 3 car, probably. The 88 car is super fast, and obviously Dale's really good at this stuff, but he's definitely beatable. He was beating Talladega, and he had a car that was really fast there as well. So he's definitely he's good, but like I said, we can beat him today. We'll just have to be perfect and be on our game the whole day for all 500 miles.
And he was beat in Talladega by Joe.
Yeah, that's right.
So.
I can win. I do more than just finishing second.
Now, he has a name for his car this weekend. Do you ever name your cars?
No, we don't. We don't have feelings for our cars, and so we just number them. They're just a number. We use them, abuse them, and throw them out. That's what we do. So once you name your car, you get feelings for it, and you feel bad if you crash or something like that. But they're all the same. They all act the same. Penske does a great job making consistent cars, and that's what we always laugh and joke about that. So we just number them and beat them up, and try to get the most out of them.
And talking about Penske, we saw you guys go 1, 2, 3 in practice last weekend. What is the key to Penske's dominance? Because obviously you and Brad have had really good races, and now you've got Ryan Blaney with you.
I think teamwork. Our name says it all. Team Penske. We all need to work together. There's 400 employees or so at Team Penske building our race cars. Everyone has to be on the same page. And it starts with Roger, and then as it works its way down to the drivers, we need to be on the same page. We need to both be pushing for the same things in our race cars. So when they're building, it's all in the same direction. So everyone's just got to be together and be one team. We need to work with each other on the racetrack. The teams need to work with each other with notes and the way we set up our cars. And we do a great job at that. I feel like that's one of our strong points in our race teams, that all of us work together as one team very well.
Now, something interesting this year, we've obviously seen a lot of younger guys go full-time now. We have Chris Buescher in there, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney. You're still a young guy. You're 25 years old. What's it like to be someone that has won the Daytona 500 and is taking more of a serious role in this race?
Yeah, it's weird because a lot of the guys coming in are close to my age, but this is my 8th year. I think it's my 8th year doing this. So I know it's weird. They come and ask me questions. I'm like, it's kind of weird. They're the same age as me, but I guess it's neat. It's definitely it's different, but the experience in the sport it pays so much. To be able to know what you got to do on the racetrack, and you've been through a lot of different situations on and off the racetrack, and how to lead your team, and how to like I said, race at every different type of racetrack, and what you need in your race car. And that's why you see in this sport a lot of times the experienced guys, even though they may be getting older, they're still very competitive because they got so much experience behind them and they know what to do, and that overcomes the youth and coming in. So I think it's just right now I feel like I'm in a good spot. I'm still young and I got some experience behind me. I feel good about my position, and I feel like I got 20 years left, so I gotta keep rolling.
At least, yeah. Now, you won this last year. Where's your trophy from last year? And if you win today, what are you going to do with the second?
The trophy last year is it's right where I can see it every day. So when I leave my house every morning, I walk by it. So I want to be able to see it. It's super cool. And I got married about a year and a half ago, and I got a really cool wife that lets me bring trophies into the house and decorate it all. So it's not quite like a man cave in the house, but it's kind of that direction, which is great to me. No. So yes, I see the trophies because it's something to be proud of. Obviously, this race is very hard to win. This is one of those races that you hear people talk about winning the Daytona 500. And you see champions in this sport that have not won this race. So it's a big deal to win this race, and all you guys are here to see a great one for sure. But if we win another one, I'll put it right next to it. They gotta be next to each other.
Take up a lot of real estate in the house. Do you guys have any questions for Joey? Yeah.
Who's your favorite drafting partner at this track?
Well, I work with my teammates the most. I definitely, throughout the last couple weeks as we're practicing, we're running the duels, we're running the unlimited, you start to kind of feel out who's got good cars, whose car can handle really well, whose car is really fast, and you kind of want to position yourself around them, but at the same time you kind of want to be in front of them. And it's kind of this whole this draft here is a lot different than what you saw yesterday. The Xfinity cars are able to actually tag bumpers and actually push each other physically. These Cup cars, they can't quite get there. They stall out before they get to the back bumper of another car. Don't get me wrong, we'll push each other every now and again, but it won't attach like you see those Xfinity cars do. So having someone that you work with isn't as important as it is in the Xfinity series, because you don't have to really work with someone a lot of times to get yourself up there.
How hard is it to decide which line to run?
It's tough, it's just, it's been said a lot of times it's a high-speed chess match, right? Everyone talks about it's you got to make the right moves. You got to know who you're playing. You got to know what their tendencies are, what their car is doing, and you got to have all that in your mind before you make a move. You have to watch films and say, okay, well, is it the middle or the top that's rolling or the bottom? When you see a pack that looks like this or looks like that, and you got to kind of have that all in your mind before you make these moves, because as you get closer to the front, you want to make those moves to get to the lead, but the risk goes up, right? If you make a bad move, you go all the way back to the back again. So as you get closer, you have to make sure you're doing the right thing, because one mistake, you can lose 20 spots, and it could take all day to get back those spots. So this is a track position race. A lot of people talk about how, qualifying doesn't matter when you come to speedways or but you'll see cars doing 2 tires. You'll see guys doing fuel only. Out there just to get track position, stay up towards the front, because it's not easy to pass. And at the end of the race, like we saw last year, when they're 3 wide, 6 rows deep, where are you supposed to go? There's no way you can pass anybody. So you have to position yourself in front of that pack for the end of this thing.
Do you guys have any other questions for Joey?
It's probably still early.
Everybody's so quiet.
Biggest concern, I don't really have huge concerns. I feel confident, in what my team can do and the way we prepared. Our pit crew's in good shape. They had an amazing offseason with practice. My spotter and I are working really well together down here the last couple weeks, so I feel confident we know what to do on the racetrack. Todd's gonna make great calls. He has, all year last year, and don't see that changing. Our team didn't change much from last year. It's basically the same team. So when you have a great season like you did last year and you don't change much, you're not worried about a whole bunch. I feel like we know what we're doing.
Any other questions for Joey? No?
I have a silly question.
Yeah.
All the Daytona Rising and everything they've done here has been pretty amazing for the fans. Does it feel any different for you? I know that whole side is gone, but that's probably from the racetrack. Is there anything else that feel any different with all that improvement?
From inside the car, you don't notice much, because if I'm looking up here, I'm probably flipping. So I don't want to do that. I really don't want to see you guys when the race starts. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But but definitely, this morning or really throughout the rest of the week, I've been up here and been able to check out a lot of it and see it. It's an amazing facility. I'm so glad that Joey Chipwood did this and put the investment into this. This is what our sport needs, is areas like this to kind of give you that stadium atmosphere like other sports have, and I think it's a big stepping stone for a sport in the future with other racetracks.
How do you feel about the new overtime ban?
Feel good about it. That was something that the NASCAR, the driver council and NASCAR worked together on, and basically, you think about this thing and you're racing, to the checkered flag and green white checkers at these places. It just gets so crazy. It gets very dangerous. In all honesty, I don't know if there's any other way to put it, but when you put all of us out there with all of us with one goal and we're going to push and shove, we're going to crash. And none of us really want to do it 3 times, So I think that we wanted. The way they had it in Talladega didn't work because the caution came out so early, and that's not what all the fans come here and pay to watch, right? We don't want we want to give them a race. So the happy medium that we all came up with was putting that restart line down the middle of the back straightaway. I guess pretty much straight across from here. And if the caution comes out before that, we'll restart the race. But if we get to that point and the caution comes out, the race will be over. So that's kind of a good happy medium. And if caution never comes out, we do green, white, checker like we typically do. So the rule hasn't come into play really the whole weekend down here so far.
Well, Joey, we thank you for coming, and we wish you a best race today. Guys,